That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Monday.
All right, soon to be a podcast every single Monday. We're still going to do it, obviously, on this show every Monday as well. Christopher, the floor is yours.
All right, so during my draft on Saturday, we were watching Jets and Giants. Man, one thing really stuck out.
Oh, boy.
Garrett Wilson's so good. He is going to lead the NFL in receptions and yards.
Nah, that's an overreaction.
Are you nuts? He got like 38 targets in the 2 drives.
I understand that.
He's so
They got
awesome.
some decent wideouts on your squad, though.
I understand that. I'm just not going to sit here and say he's going to lead the league in receptions and yards. Like he's going to go
Like Tyreek Hill,
2/3 of a
Jefferson.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, he's going to go for it.
I would love that more than anything else, and I'm not going to jinx it. I'm going to go overreaction. Not saying it's impossible. Not saying it's within him. It's not within him. I'm just going to say that I don't know. Just because we didn't see either of their 2 starting running backs. And if I'm Aaron Rodgers and I want to get in and get some rhythm and get the hell out of there, I'm looking at the guy I trust the most, and that's number 17. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And I'm not going to sit here and take your bait or your cheese.
It was pretty impressive. I mean,
It was very impressive, and
really
it makes
good.
you think like he's going to have a big season.
Yeah.
But to lead every receiver in both categories, how many times have we seen that? Justin Jefferson still plays in the league?
I mean, why can't he have 120 and 1,800 yards?
He can. I would love it. That means the Jets are going to win the division if that happens.
Possibly, yeah.
But for the moment, I'm just going to side of just what seems rational, and then the irrational is I'm not going to jinx it. What's next?
All right, watching all the highlights of these rookie quarterbacks. Made official by D'Amico Ryans after last night's performance. C.J. Stroud's going to have the best season by a rookie quarterback.
I'll say no to that. I'll say that's an overreaction. I'll still go Bryce Young.
Really?
Yeah, I will. I will.
Okay.
I will go there. That's what I will say.
Interesting. Is this an Ohio State thing?
No, it is not.
Yeah, can I ask why you think that?
Because we haven't seen jack out of him. You're looking through the preseason lens. This kid is number 1 for a reason. I think Frank Reich is going to have him dialed up. I think they have some other problems on this team potentially.
Like the O-line?
I don't know if I had to choose.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I have some. I don't know. Anthony Richardson. If he gets Jonathan Taylor back, I would choose him. A lot of 7 for 18s in the preseason. I understand that, but it's preseason. Let's see what
know,
happens. And again, I just think we haven't seen the full Bryce Young, and I'm just going to rely on that.
You see the Colts cut Kenyon Drake? Are they in a position to be cutting running backs right now?
They need to call him Barty Lenny.
Right? Or you need to sign 2-8.
I honestly don't know what the hell's going
Get
on.
him back into camp.
2-8 is signed. He's choosing not to play.
Not to play, yeah.
What else you got over
Bring
there?
him back.
All right, Josh Jacobs did get paid, though. He got, a $2 million bump on the went to the Saquon Barkley route.
Before you continue, just one last thing. It's not an overreaction to say C.J. Stroud will have the best season. out of all 3 of them.
You just think it's going to be Bryce.
Correct.
Got it.
Right.
Josh Jacobs led the NFL in rushing last year. I think he's going to maybe do it again. He's going to have the most rushing yards among the RB Zoom crew.
It's not an overreaction to say that, but I'm still gonna. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be Saquon either. Derrick Henry was on that Zoom, wasn't he?
He was. Derrick Henry was getting up there a little bit.
It's not an overreaction. I'm rooting for him, but I would. Again, I don't know if this sounds like prop betting here too. I just don't think. I don't know. Back-to-back years. It's just, who was the last one to lead the league in rushing back-to-back years? I think it was Derrick Henry, actually.
Derrick Henry?
I have it actually. Wow, it's open to the page.
Hey.
I have that. Last year was Jacobs. Year before was Taylor. And the 2 years before it was Henry. Then Zeke. Then Hunt. Then Zeke. Then Peterson, DeMarco, and Shady. Those are the last 10 lead rushers. So I will just say, it's not an overreaction, but I don't think it'll happen. What else, Chris?
Did Josh get a new number as well, Chris?
What else?
I saw he went to 8, right?
Yeah.
I think that's cool. 8. I like the single digits. Obviously, Trey Lance traded Friday evening to the Dallas Cowboys. Trey Lance is going to win a Super Bowl ring before Kyle Shanahan.
Get out of here.
I love that. That's the best thing you ever did, Chris.
It's just like, you're using this as a conduit for your own agenda, and I don't appreciate it.
What do you mean?
This is a very sacred segment we
I'm
have here,
saying
an Overreaction
the
Monday.
Cowboys win before the Niners. That's all.
That's an overreaction.
All
I
right.
think
That's
that's
properly
absurd.
reacted, Chris.
I think the Niners have a better roster than the Cowboys. I do.
Can I ask you a question, Rich? When
Dude,
you say
who's the reigning defensive player of the year? And you know how I feel about Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons might be MVP of the whole league.
I
Can
understand
I
that.
ask you something, Rich?
I
don't wanna
understand
interrupt
that.
but where is that reigning defensive player? He ain't in camp, is
He's
he?
ATC. He'll be there. Don't
Okay,
you worry.
well, why are we not talking about the fact that possibly the best defensive player isn't in camp? Like, no one's speaking on
How
it.
many reps will it take him to get ready for the season?
1.
Thank you. I just like the 49ers better. I'm sorry. I'm
kind of in on the Cowboys.
Are you really?
Kind of.
So do you believe what you just put down there? Okay, moving on to use the Brian Gumble phrase. What's next?
Hey, you know who was awesome? Calling plays. Dak should just call the plays. If he can do that for Will Greer, imagine what he can do for himself, because he's better than Will Greer.
Let me tell you something.
Just let Dak call the plays. What does he need McCarthy for?
This is the greatest
what
overreaction
does
Monday
he need
ever.
McCarthy for?
Let me just say this. This sounds crazy. It's totally crazy. But that's not an overreaction. If he calls the plays
for Will Greer, went 29
like that,
of 35.
and it's just like,
and 4 touchdowns.
let me do it.
Yeah, but guess what, guys? It's a lot easier when you got the headset on and you don't got a pass rush.
I don't know. Terry Bradshaw called his own plays. Jim Kelly used to do it.
And it's also
that's
proof.
true.
It's proof that Dak has the neck up ability,
Yes.
like everything else in his body. So I don't know. How many times did Rodgers overrule McCarthy back in the day?
Probably all the time.
So maybe
While
do
he
you
was
think Dak
taking
should-
naps and getting massages. Like, what are we doing? Let Dak call the plays.
It's not an overreaction.
It may be slightly, but I like where your head's at.
It's not. It's a great leap of like, if he can do this for another human, what can he do for
He
himself?
can do it for a guy who just got cut.
Well, also,
He's
we
made Will
knew he
Greer
was
look
going.
like-
He made, you know how much money Will Greer just
know.
made because of Dak?
He knew he was getting cut, so the offense was. They put him
They
in
were
the
trying
position.
harder?
They put him
I
in the
don't know,
position to
man.
succeed. I think.
What else?
All right, a couple more. I was looking at the guys who won the division last year, teams who won the division. I think we're going to have 4 new division winners this year. So last year it was Buffalo, Cincinnati, Jacksonville.
Are these your choices on the board?
Kansas City.
You've got the Seahawks, Lions, Steelers, and Saints up there.
Those were not my choices. That was an editorial decision.
Okay.
Eagles, Vikings, Bucks, and Niners. I think we have 4 new ones.
Well, the Eagles for sure.
That's not an overreaction, because if the Jets can put it together,
Right.
the Dolphins can put it together, if the Ravens can put it together, or the
Steelers.
Steelers can put it together, if the Titans can put it together,
Packers.
I'm moving. By the way, I'm skipping over the AFC West.
Yeah, don't
if
even
the
bother,
Cowboys can put it together, if
Seahawks.
anybody else in the NFC, it's entirely possible. We're predicting the NFC South later, and I'm predicting a changing of the guard. I think we all are.
Yeah.
So that's not out of the realm at all. 4 new division winners.
All right, then how about this one? 2 teams that finished last in their division last year are going to make the playoffs this year.
Well, the Jets finished last year.
Browns, Texans, Broncos, Commanders. That's a hot pick this year. Bears, Falcons, Cardinals. 2 last place teams.
I think that's not an overreaction either. You just named a team that can win the division and a team that can make the playoffs as a wild card right there and potentially win their division. So 2 last place teams. What are the last place teams again?
All right, last place teams: Cardinals, Falcons, Bears, Commanders.
Yeah, they can make
Broncos, Texans,
Yeah.
Browns,
so
Jets.
just a quarter of those teams make the playoffs.
Right.
I could see all of that. That's not crazy. That's not crazy at
No,
all.
not crazy. Okay.
You came up with a lot of crazy, including one that I agree with. Let Dak call the plays. Let Dak cook.
That's what I'm saying.
Let Dak cook.
I don't know about that.
Oh, let's start that.
Do you think we need one more?
Oh,
All right, we'll get one more.
okay.
All right.
Here we go.
This is tough for me to do because, I don't like to backtrack, but maybe I owe Baker Mayfield an apology.
Oh, what?
Okay.
Look at his preseason numbers,
I know
buddy.
he was so good. 14 to 15, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns,
these are you-
and a 135.
Are these errors and omissions? Are we adding a new overreaction Monday moment?
Here's the deal. The thing is like I've been kind of
You've
slagging
been
on
overreacting, is what you're saying.
I've overreacted the last couple weeks.
Wow, what a wrinkle.
Basically saying he stinks.
You once said the man had an arm like a T-shirt cannon, so at some point you were on board.
That felt like 30 years ago.
A very O. Henry-like twist. O. Brockman.
O. Brockman.
Twist at the very end.
He's growing up.
I owe Baker an apology.
What a wrinkle.
I owe Baker an apology.
Okay.
So what's that? Is that it?
That is the okay. Very
Wait a
good.
minute, so is he overreacting or is he not overreacting to that?
Is he? No, he's not. What have I been saying here?
Well, I don't want to give you any credit. I'm more apologizing to Baker.
That's your man right there. That's
Is
your
he?
man.
Because
That's your
sometimes
man.
I feel like he's not, or I'm not his.
I can understand.
Very
that,
odd.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're
But I'm
saying.
telling you, that's Evans. That's Godwin.
Yep.
Well, no Evans. It's been Godwin.
So
we
when
happen to have
when
on
it
our fantasy
starts
team.
in a week and a half,
I know, but it's gonna be no Jensen. That's gonna be a problem.
that is a major
That's a
issue.
big problem. So.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.